Hey guys,
welcome back to another vlog. Today we are in
Muynak. Muynak is a very strange city here in the north of Uzbekistan. We're very close to the Kazakh border, and we came here on a very long journey from Nukus, which is where we were yesterday. So Abdul Hamid dropped us to Kungrad. From Kungrad we took a shared taxi for 30,000 som to come here. You might ask what is really there in this city, and we'll just show you in a moment, but it is probably a memory of one of the worst man-made disasters on the planet, and you can see why. So everything you see here used to once be the Aral Sea. It was one of the largest inland seas on the whole planet, and today it's a desert with probably a little bit of water still left there in the very far corner. Maybe you can see the glimmer of the sun shining there. So that is still water. However, nearly all of the sea has become a sort of a desert. The plants and shrubs that you see growing here are unlike what typically grow where there's a lot of water. These are just desert plants and shrubs, and some of it have been planted by humans here. And you might ask, if it's already a man-made disaster, why are they attempting to plant trees and plants? But there's another reason to it, and we'll tell you as we get down there and check out what those structures really are. Shall we?
Let's go. Did you know that Aral Sea was one of the most unique water bodies in Central Asia?
Probably even the world, because Uzbekistan is just one of two countries in the whole world which is doubly landlocked, which means it has one layer of countries around it, all land, and then another layer of countries all around it, which means its access to sea is very difficult. It has to pass through two entire successive countries before it gets to water. But the Aral Sea was actually its own very own ocean, because it was such a large open water which spanned all the way to Kazakhstan, and both of these countries shared this water body, and this water body was filled by the two lifeline rivers of Uzbekistan, Amu Darya and Sir Darya, which brought water every single day as it flowed across this barren land, you could say.
So with this water body, I think the main source of living for the people here was fishing.
And as you can see, the boats behind us are actually fishing boats from the 1960s and 70s, which did their business around here. This entire land that you now see as sand was full of water, and the beach extended all the way till here, till this cliff, which is where we started our journey from.
And this sea was so rich with its flora and fauna, they actually fished millions of fishes every single day.
So it was a very booming occupation for a lot of people in this town of Muynak. And then even as far as Kazakhstan, where the sea extends further, a lot of people here relied on that as an occupation, as a source of money. And this fish was even exported to a lot of nearby countries.
Hundreds of boats used to fish over 24-25 tons of real fish.
And then what happened? Why is it like this here now?
So in the 1960s, when Uzbekistan had become a part of the USSR, there was a big boom in industrialization happening across the world, and USSR also wanted Uzbekistan to participate in that. And when they found out that there's this rich water source in this large open land which is cultivable, the sand was so rich, the mud was so rich with minerals that any plant could be grown very well. And then began the monopoly of cotton growing. So around this entire region, as far as even Nukus, a lot of plantations began to come up for cotton, and this cotton became like such a big industry that clothes were being sold. Industrial cotton was being shipped from this location all the way to probably even northern parts of Russia, where it was often used. And the Soviet Empire was so large that it could easily consume all of this demand that was being created for cotton. And then the people here began to switch from fishing to also the cotton industry.
And isn't cotton a plant which like absorbs a lot of water?
That's true. So we learned that cotton is one of the most water intensive crops on the planet, and it sucks in so much water. Like if you think about it, the best cotton in the world is grown around very large river valleys, whether it's Egypt or India or Bangladesh and so on. So even here in Uzbekistan, even though it was so far away from the equator and the tropic regions, because the Aral Sea had so much of water and the sand was so rich with minerals, cotton could be grown very easily and it was able to deliver that supply. But the problem came when the demand outgrew what could sustainably be harvested from here. So while people were enjoying the economic benefits of this sudden boom, nobody paid attention to what was actually happening to the sea itself, because water never made it to the Aral Sea here. Apparently the size of the sea had shrunk 10 times in a matter of just 20 years, and by the late 80s it was nearly barren, like just like this. But that wasn't even the problem. You could even say that if the water flow was again restored, then the land would fill up with the water and the sea would go back to its original size. But the worst of its effects came much later on. Once the water dried up from the sand, it was found that the minerals underneath were not all pleasant. A lot of the chemicals that were actually in the ground were very harmful, some of which were even aerosol gases. So that means chlorofluorocarbons and probably things like that.
That in fact, I heard that in fact affected the genetics of the people who are living around in this region.
You might ask, if there is no water to drink, how did they even get affected? So the problem came because of the sand. As the water dried up, there was no vegetation, the sand became loose, and this sand was picked up by the wind and transported all across the country. But the first set of people who were majorly affected were the people of Muynak themselves.
You can see that even now the wind is so strong, the wind would pick up these harmful chemicals and push it towards the area where the people were living, that is the Muynak people.
And with the sand now being exposed to the sun and all the moisture drying up, it also left a lot of salt behind. And this salt content makes things more difficult for both humans as well as other plants and animals. That earlier, the rich biodiversity of this place, which included so many fish, otters, and other creatures like foxes, herons, birds, even flamingos apparently were here, but none of them could survive because of this salt issue. And then everybody left, and when flora and fauna leave, you know what happens, places start to die down. And even now, the population of Muynak is a lot lesser than it used to be, but there are people who live here.
To stop the sand from flowing and moving from one place to another, the locals started planting these small shrubs so that the sand would stay at wherever it was.
And all of these plants are capable of withstanding intense heat and dry weather. So these are basically like desert plants which are here now. They're planted manually by humans just so that the sand stays put in one place. But
Still can't believe all of this disaster was man-made.
it goes to show how greedy humans are at times, and then it makes such a bad impact on the world that they themselves cannot sustain.
Having a sea in such a landlocked country was like a blessing.
But
and
now
this
it's
is just
gone.
so sad.
Yeah.
Person here. Okay. And he is the deputy of the minister in Karakalpakstan.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And the rest is his team.
Oh, pleasure to meet you
Okay.
all.
She is also the deputy.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay.
So nice.
Yeah. Okay. So how? How would you like to stand?
You guys can all stand here. I will set this up.
Okay.
Yeah. Selfies are more fun these days. 3, 2, 1. So it was so interesting to meet all of them. That's the mayor, and then he's a member of the Uzbek parliament. Wow, they were so curious to know what we thought of about this
They
place.
were actually shocked that we came all the way just to see this.
Yeah,
They couldn't believe it.
crazy. So guys, We're now going to go inside the ship. It's crazy. Let's do it. This one here is a classic Soviet era fishing boat. And the sand we're walking on is so fine. Like you'll even slip and fall. It's that fine. It's like literally like a desert. You will not find any kind of moisture. And the ship here is rusting like crazy. Look at that. Look at that there. The rudders are completely eaten away by rust. Are you ready, Shish, to go up?
It's a tall ladder. Let's see if I can climb it. Come on, I can do it.
And you can see here there's nothing left of the ship except like the silhouette, you could say, and some of the frame.
Wow. This
Here you
feels
go.
so crazy.
Take us all up there.
Come on, guys.
Okay, my friends. The ladder's first step is truly very small. And wearing jeans is such a bad idea. Whoa, look at that. That's the empty hull. And you can see some Fanta bottles, something like juice. But that's it. This is crazy. This is where the captain's deck was. So you can see that his room is somewhat intact as compared to the other sections of this boat. Wow. Absolutely crazy. Like, we don't even have words to say because how do you picture a huge sea that was probably thousands of cubic kilometers in size? This like nothing. We found the captain of this abandoned ship. Why do you park your ship here? This is not allowed, no? Wait, are you a tourist? You're from India? You brought the ship from India? Okay, then you're exempt. It's okay. Because India has very nice food, you're exempted from doing ship business here. Okay?
All right.
Of course, there are lover marks everywhere. This is not Taj Mahal, my friends. It's a boat in the middle of nowhere. Still, it's the same logic that applies. Find a wall, you write them hearts. Shishira, how come you never did such things? You're pretty antisocial as far as I know.
I never wanted to disclose your name to anybody.
Okay.
Absolutely crazy. Let's go down and check the other ship.
We came from Nukus too. Yeah. $2? In case you're wondering, it is burning hot here. I think it should be about 35 to 38 degrees and the heat is just intense.
Might be wondering why is she dressed like this in peak hot weather, fully sleeved, long pants, because it's so sunny.
Yeah, and we tan so easily that this is the only way we can really keep our skin healthier. The most surprising thing just happened. A very kind Uzbeki man just told us that we should go to Nukus all the way in a car. We plan to take the bus, but...
This was so unexpected.
And this goes to show how surprisingly kind Uzbeks are. You've heard this from us before when we were in Bukhara and Khiva and even Samarkand, but I think here in Karakalpakstan, this is the first time we've ever experienced something like this in all the places we've been to. So just thought we'll share it with you guys too.
No, you're exaggerating. I also travel a lot, and in many countries, people help me a lot too.
Oh, that's
so okay.
Wow.
This is my business card. This is
Okay.
my mobile phone
I
number.
just googled you, so I saw this name.
Okay, no problem. Okay.
All right. Thank
Have
you
a good
so
trip.
much.
Thank
You
you
too.
so
Bye.
much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. That is them. Wow.
We are now inside a private taxi and we still can't believe that this happened.
Wow. So cool.
We learned that the bus was around 2:30 and we were thinking how do we walk the 2 kilometer in this hot weather and wait for the bus, and then the bus journey was another 3 to 4 hours from there. Oh my god.
So we are now picking up another person. Salam. We now have a passenger. Yes, shish. Cola. Som. Small. Six. Okay. 6 or 7? So we just off the car again. It's pulling into the gas station. So we're halfway to Nukus now, and it's really hot. The cola we bought is almost over.
And it's almost very hot.
I have never ever seen shish with gulles.
As soon as I came to Uzbekistan, I started getting pimples. I think the main reason for it is this dry weather and lots of dust particles everywhere.
Yeah.
Our lips get dry very fast, very easily. Hence, I always carry this lip balm. Atavi Herbal Lip Balm. It's not sponsored, it's not a collaboration, because it's made by my mom and by me.
If you want to place an order, comment down below or click the WhatsApp number in this description and you can reach Shish or her mommy.
It will leave your lips soft and supple for 12 hours.
Okay, now that the ad is over, let's get back to the car.